I'm here with John Lazzaro, Firefly photographer and author of a new book, The Walls Still Talk. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the content of the book?
So it's basically a photographic journey through the Kings Park Psychiatric Center. So I document the 20 plus years of the results of deinstitutionalization, which was the closing of the hospital back in the 90s. So it's a lot of what the grounds look like now, along with some archival photos of what it looked like back then when it was open.
And then while you were working on the project, talking to and getting input from people who were involved with the Psych Center while it was running, how did that input what you looked for in a photograph?
When I would meet with former employees, I would show them like photographs that I took, and they would, sort of explain things, to me. Like for instance, the photo up here with the painting on the wall. After speaking with an employee, he said, we used to hang paintings like that, to kind of cheer up the mood for patients, like in their rooms and whatnot. So when the hospital closed down, a lot of them were just like left screwed to the wall.
And then in the book, you can get a lot more information, like stuff like that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so in the book, I definitely talk about, I give a little more insight into the building itself, where the photographs are taken.
What has the response been to your work?
It's been really well received, and you would think that something as niche and as dark as this would turn a lot of people off, and in fact, it's actually quite the opposite.
I've noticed that people who even aren't from Long Island or had knowledge of the Psych Center tend to be interested by it when you bring it up.
Yeah. That's really, like, that just blows my mind.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the upcoming book signing?
I am doing a book signing for The Walls Still Talk on Tuesday, October 29th at 7 p.m. It's at the Book Review in Huntington. So I'll be doing an in-depth presentation on what it was like, photographing the place, my inspiration, and I'll also talk a little more about the history of the Psych Center and give some eye-opening facts that I haven't really disclosed to a lot of people. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, when you were discussing the book here at the Firefly, the history and the mental health strength of the Psych Center did seem to be a hot topic people were discussing.
Yeah, it was cool because, and I think people, when they look at the photos, like they interpret it different ways, so perhaps, like the political aspects of how, we used to treat the mentally ill to, there's like a hidden beauty in something that's just been left abandoned.
And then is there anywhere else people can see your work besides here in the gallery or anywhere they can reach you?
Yeah. So I usually post new work on my my Instagram, so it's at Burning Meta, and then my website is burningmeta.com.
Is there any interesting fact or thoughts about any of your art pieces here that would get someone interested?
Yeah. So probably one of my favorite pieces that I've shot at Kings Park is the day room. So I sort of took this at an angle just to show the depth of the space, and that's usually one of my approaches to photography. Like I try not to focus on a particular thing inside a room, but rather I try to focus on the space as a whole. There's all these barred windows. There's doors, barred doors, blocking the windows. That's because the most violent patients were kept in this ward. And then this photo underneath, this is not Kings Park, this is actually the abandoned Dixie Cup factory in Pennsylvania. So it's a huge processing floor, it's 600,000 square feet. And it's just interesting, like, the symmetry, with the reflection of the standing water.
So, as Firefly Gallery, one of our main goals here is to try to support local artists. And if you were giving like a quick tip or a piece of advice to a local artist who was doing photography, whether it was nature or like Psych Center or anything like that, what would you give them?
Yeah, don't do the Psych Center because I did it. No, I'm kidding. But no, I think if you're a photographer or any artist for that matter, definitely shoot or compose what you like. And then if you're passionate about it and you love it, I feel like that's contagious, and people will definitely see that because that's reflected in your work.
And then, do you have a story about how you came across the gallery, how you found it?
Yeah. So a funny story, but I was actually on a date at Cafe Portofino, and I was telling the woman I was with that I do photography, and I was a member of another gallery in Huntington, and then the table next to me was actually Beth. I think it was Kate Sidney and someone else actually overheard me, talking about the work, and they wanted to know more, and actually very much encouraged me to join the gallery. So.
And actually, if you go into Portofino on the walls, you can see some of the Firefly artwork.
Yeah, too. You can, and it's rotated pretty regularly too. So.
Yes, you can always see new stuff. And
yeah.
So it was nice talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you.